Okay.
It's going.
Okay. Hi, how are you? I'm going to show you the daily routine a la Donna Eden. And I'm going to do it in real time so that you can follow it along. I'm going to go at a medium pace, but just know that when you learn these exercises, the slower you do it, the deeper the correction, the longer it holds. And it's just a better correction. But when you're first learning it, you may appreciate going at a medium pace. And then you can choose, depending on how much time you've got in the morning. It's better to do it fast than to not do it at all. So the first thing we start with is for your immune system. We're going to do we call it the 4 thumps. In the book it's 3 thumps, but we've added right here. And this is actually good to help set you up for hormonal balance. So this is directly under the middle of the pupil, and it's on the bone, the cheekbone. And this is also good for the immune system. And you can do this anywhere from 5 to 30 seconds, depending on how much you need it. This is fairly soft up here because you don't want to bruise your skin. When you get to kidney 27 at the master acupuncture point, it's at the end of the collarbone, and you slide straight down into a dip, and if you press hard, you're going to notice you hurt right there. And the more you hurt, the more you need to do this. If you do this regularly, the pain will go away, and that will tell you that you're being effective with moving this energy. So we always say don't be too nice to yourself when you're doing these, because if you just do little pats like that, it's not going to move the energy. And again, you can do these anywhere from 5 to 30 seconds. This is great for your immune system. It's great for when you're tired. If you can't, if you thump these, you'll get a burst of energy usually. Now I'm going to go down to the thymus. You're going to support your thymus, which again is important with immune system function, and it supports T-cell construction. I'm not sure how long this is. Okay, now I'm going to go down to the spleen meridian, which is fundamental in Chinese medicine for immune function. And the first point is a neurolymphatic reflex point, and it's right here. It's under your bra line. And for you men out there, it's just below the breast tissue, the muscle, one right below. And you're going to thump this. I like to smile when I'm doing these exercises, especially if I don't feel like it, because it puts that energy into my body and it creates it for me. Okay, and then the other spot you can check, remember, check to see which is more sore, because again, the more sore it is, the more you need it. There's a master acupuncture point called spleen 21. How you find it is to put your arms straight out and just bend in at your elbow. Don't do this, just bend in. Your thumb will go right there. And so you can thump that, and you can check to see which spot is more sore and pay more attention to that. And the next thing I'm going to go do is go on to the homolateral correction. Now, if you don't think that you're homolateral, don't do this first part, the up and down part. And if you don't know if you're homolateral, if you do the first part and you feel a little wobbly or doesn't make you feel good, just skip it. You're probably not homolateral, and you can just do the cross crawl. But if you have any sort of chronic condition that you haven't been able to fix, anything, including even things like depression, you are definitely homolateral. So you're going to go up and down first, and I do this really slowly. The slower you go, the deeper the correction. Do I need to stop this? Okay. And we're just going to do 6 first, and we're going to stop for a second, and then we're going to cross over. And If you're not sure how many sets you need, just notice when you decide to cross over, does it feel awkward? I'm going to do 10 of these. That's 6 right there. 7, 8, 9, and 10. We're going to stop for a second to let the body go back into its habit so that each time we do a set, we're shifting it out of its habit again. So I'm going to start again. 1, 2, 3. This is a little different than Donna describes in her book. I'm doing it more slowly for one thing. I'm going to stop. That was 6. Now I'm going to cross over. Now notice right now, does that feel awkward? Does it feel uncomfortable to do the crossover? If yes, then you are still homolateral. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And now stop to let the body go back to its habit. And once again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm going to stop for just a second. Notice whether you are awkward in crossing over right now. 1, 2, 3, 4. And for this last set, most people will be fixed in 3 sets. And as you go on, doing this regularly, you'll need fewer and fewer sets until you literally retrain your body. But for the last set, I'm going to do at least 12 crossovers to really set it in the body. I think I must be moving forward. So as I said, most people will fix in three sets, but sometimes you'll need more. And that will be largely determined by how well you feel when you do the crossover. Okay, now if you are really sick, you can do that sitting down just by doing this. And if it's too stressful, too strenuous to do 3 sets at a time, don't push yourself. That'll just get triple warmer up and going. So you can go back to it later, do it in several times a day. And then the next thing is the Wayne Cook. The publicly accepted version of this is, so if you're in a meeting or something, put one hand out in front of you with the palm facing the wall, cross the other hand over, and fold it in. I used to do this all the time as a kid. I just didn't know why. So this fixes scrambled energies, and the signs of that are when you're reading something and you keep having to go back to the previous page because you don't know what you read, or you fall asleep while you're reading, or you feel kind of foggy-brained and not quite in your body. And this just takes longer. It's publicly accepted, but it's a more subtle correction and it takes longer. Generally, another way to know when you fixed an imbalance is as you go along, might not be happening as you begin to work with your energies, but eventually you will have some sort of signal, like you'll sigh or you'll yawn, you might even cough. There's generally some signal that you've just shifted that energy. Now, the quicker way to do it and a deeper correction is a modified version of the Wayne Cook. So you take your left leg, put your ankle over your right knee, put your right hand on your ankle, put your left hand over the sole of the foot. Now just notice the position here. How I remember this is that the arms mimic the legs. So if the leg is straight, so is the arm, and that's the arm on the ankle. And if the leg is bent, so is the arm, and that goes to the sole of the foot. Okay, and now you're going to breathe in through your nose and exhale through your mouth. And just pull up slightly on your foot. But just know if you really feel like you need more, or even fewer, you know, if you know that you're scrambled but not very, like you've been sitting at the computer just long enough to get scrambled, but it hasn't really gotten deeply seated, you can do 3, 2 or 3. You can also do 5 or 6 or 7, just depends on what you feel you need. So now you're going to switch legs. So your right leg is crossed over your left knee, and your right hand's over the sole of your foot, and your left hand's at your ankle. And you breathe in through your nose, and exhale through your mouth. And breathing is really important during these exercises. Energy has to move. And one of the ways we move energy, literally, is through breathing. But in our culture in the United States, we tend to breathe very shallowly. We don't breathe through our diaphragm. And so we don't move our energy very efficiently either, because we're a nation of people who don't really breathe very well. Okay, and the last step, it's my favorite thing in public, I say that jokingly, you're going to steeple your fingers and put your thumbs right at the bridge of your nose and breathe in. I said I would do this 4, but it's feeling like I want to do 5 here. And now finish up by just pushing in at your forehead and sort of spreading along. That feels really good. Shake it off, and then put your hands at your temples and breathe in. And then exhale as you go around the sides of your ear, and then just dig into these shoulder muscles that accumulate all that stress, and just let the weight of your arms drop. And take a really deep breath and just let it relax, and then shake it off. Now we're going to do the crown pull. If any of you have headaches, and chronic headaches, sometimes just doing this can make them go away. Basically, we think so much that if our heads get congested energetically, that energy creates pain. You know, it's like too much pain, too much energy stuck equals pain. So you're going to push in, and you're really pushing in. This is not this. We want to actually spread the skull where the suture lines are. So we want to create a release of pressure by making sure that those skull bones aren't creeping up on each other like tectonic plates. When the pressure builds too much, then they do that, and then the pressure can't release. So you're actually pressing in, and then lighten up so you don't tear your skin. I say that jokingly. And when you see Donna do this, you'll see her just doing this, and then she doesn't spread it very far. I love to spread it farther just because it feels so good on the head. I'm going to go straight down the suture lines and come to the back, and come back, and come back. And then, by the way, as you're at your occipital ridge, this bony part here, if you notice that there are places that hurt, just stop and massage them. Because again, that's just stuck energy. And pain, so much of the time, is too much energy stuck where it's at, and stretching can help release it. Lots of people have headaches just because this gets too congested here. So then we're going to continue on to the neck, and you can come around and then just take a deep breath. Okay, and the next thing is the zip up, and there's this governing meridian, which starts at the bottom here and comes straight up. You do not have to meet your fingers, you can do it mentally. Pull the energy up and come around to your lip. Know with your intention that it ends at the back of your throat. And then, this is a version I like. It is to zip it up with central meridian, which goes straight up the front. So just come up the front. Again, slower is deeper. Lock and throw away the key. This is a great time for positive affirmations because the central meridian is a gateway into the nervous system. And then you're going to, by the way, the zip up is really important for people who tend to feel really vulnerable in crowds. Like you pick up people's energy really easily, or you pick up people's moods. That probably means that your central meridian is unzipped a lot. So you want to start retraining your central meridian so it will stay zipped. And then the next thing is the hookup. So you're going to take your middle finger, put it in your navel, and just pull up slightly. This is a gentle pull. And then again at your third eye, and just slightly pull up. And this, by the way, this energy, this hookup, is once you get it fixed, that's assuming that you start out with it not working well. Once you get it fixed and you keep on doing it, that's when the real magic occurs. Because these meridians, governing and central meridian, are the grandparents of all the other meridians. And so this will feed the meridians and balance them if they can be balanced simply. It also creates new spiraling energy that goes out into your aura and weaves it tighter. And of course, we want a tightly woven aura to do its job to filter our environment so that we're not thrown by electromagnetic frequencies and by chemicals in our cosmetics and our soaps and our lawns and our water and, you know, all those things. And then some of those new spiraling energies that the hookup creates when you continue to do it also goes to the chakras and feeds it. And once again, you may notice a sigh or a yawn, a cough, or some people will even find that their stomachs will gurgle or things like that. There will be some signal as you go further into this work that these energies are hooking up for you. And the next thing is the Celtic weave. This is to fix auras where the edges have come in, collapsed in, usually as a coping mechanism to having stress. The problem is when it becomes a habit. And then for people who, again, are really vulnerable to the environment, sometimes this edge detaches and then they get unfiltered energy coming in right at their heart area. So you put your hands on your thighs, and we start out a number of exercises this way. It's to train, I want you to know this so that you can do it with intention. It's to train yourself to know that when you point your fingers down on your thighs, you're telling your energies to ground out your feet. So you're sending them to your feet. Take a deep breath. Know that you're grounding. And then rub your hands together. Get some good friction going. You might be able to feel this ball of energy that you just created. Just try that for a minute. See if you can feel it and shake it off. You don't have to do that as part of the exercise. I just wanted to show you that. So get a nice good friction going and shake it off, and then put it at your ears. Don't do this, do this. Okay? And now you're going to breathe in as you bring your elbows together. Breathe in. And exhale as you cross out. And breathe in. And exhale as you cross at your waist. And breathe in. And exhale as you cross at your ankles. And bring your arms back. Invert your hands. And scoop in all this luscious earth energy. And let it fall down the front, sides, and back of your body. Just feel it completely surrounding you and strengthening your aura. And then the next thing is the connecting heaven and earth. 20 minutes. Connecting heaven and earth. And this is great for arthritis and moving energy through joints. It turns on your radiant circuits, it grounds you, it does a whole bunch of stuff. So you're going to ground yourself, and then You're going to come into the prayer position, and you're going to stretch up to the heavens and stretch down to earth. Your chin is back, you're holding your breath, and you'll feel the stretch in your side with the upstretched arm. And it's like yoga. Keep pressing up and down. And then come back. And go up again on the other side. Chin is back, holding your breath, stretching, stretching, stretching. If you tend to pick up energy, again, this is great for moving it out of your system. Chin is back, holding your breath. Come back when you're ready. One more time. And now, you're just going to fold at the waist. Do not lock your knees. Don't push yourself to go farther than you comfortably can. And take at least 3 deep breaths here. If you have back problems, this is a great, great exercise to start stretching the space between your discs and to stretch your lower back. Now I'm going to teach you my version. I get a lot of people with back problems. I'm going to teach you my ending version of this. I come up just using my buttocks and my thighs and pretending like I have no back muscles. And that's kind of challenging, actually. But I visualize stacking my vertebra from the coccyx up. So I'm stacking, restacking, separating and stacking, stacking, stacking. Keep checking in with my neck, make sure it's like a rag doll. And just keep pushing with my thighs and my buttocks until I get up and then square my shoulders back, and that feels absolutely fabulous. And then you're going to end by doing a lot of figure eights. Whatever you've got time for. Figure eight energy is incredibly healing. And I have a challenge for you. See if you can do these figure eights for more than 30 seconds with a scowl on your face. I haven't been able to do it yet. I always have to start smiling, so it's a great way to start the morning. And see if you can get your hips into it. You don't have to. That might take some practice. But the more figure eight energy you can do, the better it is. The figure eights connect all your energy systems and get them talking nicely with each other. Now that's the basic daily routine. There are a couple of extra things for those of you who have indigestive issues, for instance, and one of them is fixing the Illeocecal and Houston valves. You put the heel of your hand at the top of your hip bone, let your hands fall down, and where your middle finger is, you press in really hard, and sometimes you can massage it too. You pull up hard while you're breathing in. Do this 3 times. And then breathe in, put your thumbs up here gently, and on the exhale, gently smooth it down just to make sure those valves are staying in. And then the diaphragm breath, you're going to put, this is an isometric press between your diaphragm muscle and your hands. So you're going to put your left hand in your, right under the sternum. You don't want it down here, that can be a problem. And then put your right hand over, snug your arms in, breathe in through your diaphragm, and then press against it. Hold your breath as long as you can. And I was talking, normally I can do it longer than that. This is great for singers, by the way, great for people with asthma. It'll increase lung capacity. And that's it. That's the daily routine.